We were here and we had just started for loop and given some examples of for loop. So this is a bit different from while loop. In while, what happens? The statement lying under while is repeated as long as the condition specified is true, and the loop is terminated as soon as the condition becomes false and it goes to else statement if you have mentioned else along with while. But for loop is bit different. But in for we can also include else like while. But what should be a use of else? This we should know in this example and in this syntax. What happens in this syntax? We have to take one identifier which will take its value from this collection, and this collection could be any string, this collection could be any list, this collection could be any tuple or a string or range. Range is a special function which is used to create the sequence of the numbers or the range, you can say. So that type of this variable does not need to be specified, because whatever collection you give here, the type of this identifier will be decided accordingly. So what happens in this case when this identifier takes its value from this collection, and taking the value from this collection, it goes to the segment lying under it. So as soon as this identifier satisfies the conditions of the collection, it keeps on performing or executing or repeating the segment, and as soon as the value of this identifier goes beyond the collection, it comes to the else statement. Means uh, if all this is false, then it comes to else statement. So मान लीजिए कि ये कलेक्शन सपोज इवन नंबर्स का है, जिसमें कि हमने लिया है 2 4 6 एंड लाइकवाइज। तो इसका मतलब ये होगा कि जो v जो आइडेंटिफायर है, we'll take 2 as its first value, and whatever you are giving here will be executed, will be executed, and will be executed. So as long as the value of this identifier lies in this range, it will come to, or it will keep on executing these statements. And when it is false, I mean, when the value of identifier goes beyond this collection, it is automatically comes to this part. And so this is also the optional part. If you want to omit this, you can omit this. So here this is example, and in this example we have taken the value of n is some integer. So over here I have taken one value, that is 3. So when you input the value of n, if suppose I take 3, means it has to create a range beginning with 0 up to n minus 1. That is, the first value that C takes is 0, and the last value C will take is n minus, excuse me, n minus 1. Okay, so a C will be starting from 0 and will go up to n minus 1. So see this example, since the value of C is 0 and the condition is true, because n is 3, so C satisfies the condition, that is, this is in this range. So it will come to this place where you will see the print statement is there. So when you say 2 into C plus 1, so the first value of C was 0, so 0 plus 1, it will become 1, and 1 multiplied by 2 becomes 2, so it will print 2 here. And in the next attempt, C will take 1 as its next value. So after taking the value, it will again come to this statement where 2 into what is C? C is 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. 2 into 2, 4. It will print 4. And the now next value of C in this collection will be 2. So 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 into 2 is 6. And this 6 is printed. So this way, whatever you have given this integer, we have taken for generating the range. So मैंने यहाँ पर 3 दिया, and since range will start from 0 and will go up to n minus 1. So if you have given 3, so it will start taking values from 0 and will go up to 2. And जब तक ये 0 से 2 तक नहीं हो जाएगा तब तक ये रेंज आपकी प्रिंट होती जाएगी. So this is the range of even numbers, printing first n numbers of even numbers. Okay. Now next example. In this example, we have introduced one more parameter, that is this one. See here, we can specify the beginning of the range, end point of the range, and the gap within this range. Means if you have entered 10 here, or if you have taken the value of n as 10, and you are going to start this range or initializing this range from 1. So it will start from 1 and will go up to n plus 1. So what is n? N is 10. 10 plus 1 is 11. So it will start from 1 and go up to 11, but the gap of 3. So first value will be 1, and second value with the gap of 3 will be 4. Third value with the gap of 3 will be 7, and fourth value with the gap of 3 is 10. So these 1, 4, 7, 10 values are printed here. So यहाँ पर ये जो है गैप है, ये इसकी फाइनल लिमिट है, और ये इसकी इनिशियल स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट है. So this way for loop works. Okay, now we are taking a new example. This is another example in which we are using for again, but here we have not mentioned the initial value of the range and the final value of the range. So when the default number is there, so we'll have to decide that the first value of this range would be 0 and the last value of this range would be 5 minus 1, that is 4. Okay, so what happens in this case, when this program is executed, C will take 0 as its first value, and you are going to print this statement. What is this string? Asterisk. And this is multiplication sign. And when you multiply any string by any number, means this times of number the string is repeated. Any you want to repeat this string this number of times. So what is the value of C? C is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. So when you multiply this string by 1, it will print only 1 asterisk. So this is here. Now C will become 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. So when you multiply asterisk by 2, it will give you 2 asterisk signs. Then it will become 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 multiplied by asterisk will produce 3 asterisk signs. When it will become 3. 3 plus 1, 4. Then it will print 4 asterisk sign. Then C will become 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 into asterisk sign will be printed. Will print 5 asterisk signs here. And 4 is the last value of this range. Okay, so this way this pattern is printed. Next example, you see where the same range we have adopted here. So the first value of C will be 0, but I have changed a little change in the expression where whatever is generated through this range, I am subtracting that value from 5. So initially C will take 0. So 5 minus 0 is 5, and 5, when SS is multiplied by 5, it will produce 5 as signs. Then C will be incremented, so it will become 1, and 5 minus 1, this will become 4. 4 multiplied by S, this produces this produces 4 as signs. And likewise, when C is increased, 5 minus 2 will become 3. So 3 as signs will be printed, then 2, and so on. So you can uh, print different patterns using for loop. Okay, so this kind of pattern we can also generate using nested loop. So since we have not done nested, we have not learned nested loop. So without using nested loop, we will be able to create such patterns. So देखते हैं आगे आगे क्या क्या होता है. So in the next slide, we'll do something else. Here, I'm going to create the factors of n, all the factors of n, and whatever value of n you give. So we'll be starting from 1 and we'll go up to n plus 1, less than n plus 1, not n plus 1, less than n plus 1. So it will be starting from 1, then whatever number is generated for C, the number you have entered for n will be divided by the value generated by the loop, that is n modulo 1 first time. So it will produce, since this is 0, because n is divisible by 1, and, and divisibility can be examined when you get remainder as 0. So n, suppose n is 54, just like example मैंने दिया है, since n is 54. So 54 is divisible by 1 because 54 modulo 1 is 0. So it will print 1 and comma sign here. And the next value will be 2. Again 54 modulo 2 will give you 0. So 2 will be printed. Then C will take 3. 3 can also divide 54 because 54 modulo 3 is also 0. It will print 3 and this. Then 54 modulo 4 will not divide this expression and remainder will not be 0, and that is why 4 is not printed here. Then 5 and 54 modulo 5 will not be 0, so 5 is not printed. But 54 modulo 6 is 0, so it will produce 6 here, and so on. तो जहां जहां पर आपका जो n दैट इज 54 c से डिवाइड होता जाएगा, यानी रिमाइंडर 0 होता जाएगा, वो नंबर्स वो जो है 54 के फैक्टर्स होंगे. सो 54 के फैक्टर्स कौन कौन से हैं? 1 2 3 6 9 18 27 and 54. So these are the factors of the integer given by you. Another example, we are going to find the HCF and LCM of two integers. So the relation, we should know the relation of HCF and LCM. So if there are two integers, so out of these two integers, जो भी numbers आपने लिए हैं उसमें से we'll check the factor of these two numbers which can divide n and m, or these two numbers fullest. यानी पूरे के पूरे जो डिवाइड कर देगा, यानी मॉडुलस जो है उसका 0 आ जाए, मॉडुलो 0 हो जाएगा, तो वो डिविजिबल होगा. एंड द हाईएस्ट वैल्यू which divides these two numbers you have given will be the highest common factor. So see here, I have given two values. The value of n is 8 and the value of m is 20. So what is going here? I have just declared one variable HCF as 1. So I am taking C in range of 1 and minimum of, क्योंकि मैंने आपको बोला था कि दोनों इंटीजर्स का जो मिनिमम होगा इनके बीच में जो कॉमन नंबर होगा जो कि दोनों ही इंटीजर्स को डिवाइड करे एंड द हाईएस्ट वैल्यू होनी चाहिए, तो वो इसका HCF होगा. So what we have done here, we have taken the minimum of n and m. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि 1 से लेकर के minimum of n and m plus 1 तक ये लूप चलेगा. और यहाँ पर जैसे जैसे c जनरेट होगा वो अगर दोनों ही नंबर्स को डिवाइड करता हुआ चलेगा यानी रिमाइंडर 0 आएगा और वही आपका HCF बनता जाएगा. सो हाईएस्ट वैल्यू विच डिवाइड्स n and m as well will be the highest common factor. So highest common factor when divide the product of these two numbers will produce LCM. So see here, this is HCF and here HCF is printed. And how to find the LCM? LCM के लिए n into m divided by HCF, this will produce LCM. So see here, the 4 is the number, 4 is the integer which can divide 8 and 20 both. So HCF is 4. So 8 into 20 divided by 4 will be your LCM. So 8 into 20 upon 4, 4 to the 8 and 2 into 20, that is 40, which is the LCM out here. Similarly, if you take n 30 and m 12, इनमें से जो भी आपका HCF बनेगा, because 6 can divide 30 and 6 can divide 12. So this is the highest value which can divide both the numbers 30 and 12. So multiply these two integers and divide it by 6, you'll get the LCM. Any question?
Can you define the why we have selected range from 1 to minimum NNM?
Why we have to select?
Select, sir, how to select this range, sir? Why this range only?
Okay. So इसके लिए मुझे क्या करना होगा? मुझे पाइथन आपको लोड करके दिखानी पड़ेगी. And here I am taking two integers and उससे मैं निकालता हूँ HCF and LCM दोनों. So I'm loading Python and creating the program. Okay. New program. Evaluating HCF and LCM of two integers. So what I am doing here, I am taking one number, m is equal to integer, input number 1, and second integer, input number 2. अब इसमें से हमें निकालना है लूप चलाने के लिए रेंज. तो रेंज के लिए मैं क्या करता हूँ, r ले लेता हूँ. r इज इक्वल टू जी, अभी मैंने कुछ भी नहीं लिया, मैं चेक कर रहा हूँ. इफ m less than n, then r is equal to m else r is equal to n. बिकॉज मैंने स्मॉल लेने का रीजन आपको नहीं बताया, लेकिन मैं समझता था कि आपको रीजन पता चल जाएगा. बिकॉज हमें दोनों ही नंबर्स को डिवाइड करके देखना है, तो जो दोनों में ही कॉमन होगा, दोनों में से जो भी नंबर्स कॉमन रहेंगे तभी तो हम डिवाइड कर सकते हैं। जैसे ही दूसरा खत्म हो जाएगा फिर दोनों को डिवाइड करने का मतलब ही नहीं बनता। So that is why we have to execute the loop till the smallest value. The range should be the smaller of 2. So see here, for I in range 1 to r plus 1, and जो भी रेंज होगी मुझे दोनों ही नंबर्स जो हैं डिवाइड करके देखने पड़ेंगे, यानी m भी डिवाइड करके देखना पड़ेगा, m by I is equal to 0 and n by modulo I is equal to 0। अगर ये है तो इसका मतलब है कि उसने दोनों ही नंबर्स को डिवाइड किया है, तो ये मेरा HCF होगा। और HCF के अंदर वो वैल्यू रहेगी जो इन दोनों को डिवाइड करेगी, और इसमें हम क्या करना चाह रहे हैं, r+1 तक जा रहे हैं, इस रेंज तक जा रहे हैं। तो जैसे जैसे ये डिवाइड होता, जो जो नंबर इसको डिवाइड करते जाएंगे m एंड n को, वो HCF को अपडेट करता जाएगा। यानी पहले 1 होगा, 1 अपडेट करेगा, 1 m को भी डिवाइड करेगा, n को भी डिवाइड करेगा, और 0 भी आएगा, तो उस टाइम पर HCF 1 होगा। देन I की वैल्यू की 2, अगर 2 m को डिवाइड करेगा, n को भी डिवाइड करेगा, तो HCF अपडेट हो जाएगा, 2 हो जाएगा। फिर 3 होगा। तो कहने का मतलब जब तक ये लूप चलेगा तब तक HCF हाईएस्ट वैल्यू से अपडेट होता रहेगा। तो जब लूप से आप बाहर आएंगे उस टाइम तक आपका HCF बन जाएगा, HCF आपका इवेल्युएट हो चुका होगा। नाउ कम टू out of this scope or out of the loop. So here what I am doing is printing what should be the HCF. ये रहा आपका HCF।
एक्सक्यूज मी सर, जैसे आपने इफ और एल्स स्टेटमेंट में लिखा है कि r इज इक्वल्स टू m और r इज इक्वल्स टू n वाला, सर लेकिन हमने r2 डिफाइन किया नहीं है सर।
तो वो यहाँ
तो
इनिशियलाइज हो
सर
गया ना,
मतलब
इनिशियलाइज हो गया ना भाई। R अब ये तो पता चल गया ना कि R जो है
यस सर।
M से इनिशियलाइज हुआ या फिर N से इनिशियलाइज हुआ। आप चाहे तो ऊपर भी दे सकते हैं। यहाँ पे एक काम करिए, R को मैं कर देता हूँ 0, 0 कर देता
यस
हूँ,
सर।
कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ। हालांकि मुझे जरूरत नहीं है बिकॉज R हर हालत में इनिशियलाइज हो रहा है। ठीक है,
ओके सर।
आप
यस सर।
जैसे वहां पे मैंने 1 लिखा हुआ था वो कोई जरूरी थोड़ी है। और अब मैंने क्या करना है, HCF के साथ LCM निकालना है। HCM इज इक्वल टू दोनों नंबर M इंटू N, और इसको डिवाइड कर दो आप HCF से। नाउ print LCM